big Guardian scoop. So huge scoop in the Times. We've already brought you that one. But this is a huge scoop in the Guardian. It runs to about 8 pages in the Guardian today. Let me give you the gist. Front page revealed royals took £1.2 billion in private income from estates. Investigation shows King Charles and the late Queen's takings grew 16-fold in Elizabeth's reign. And it goes on for page after page inside the paper, including duchy riches. Charles and the late Queen took £1.2 billion in private income from royal estates. And on it goes, from farms to fortunes and secrecy, how royals rely on the establishment to keep the public in the dark about their wealth. That's a big one. There are lots of others too, including the royal sleepover. If you haven't been invited, neither have I, and I'm a bit miffed, actually. I had a lovely time. I wish I had been. So let's talk about all of this with royal expert Afua Hagan. Hi, Afua. Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon to you.
Hi, Vanessa. Good afternoon.
Nice to see you. So let's kick off with this big Guardian scoop. It goes on for page after page. Can you give us the gist? What is it that the Guardian has uncovered that we probably didn't know before this?
You're right. It's a huge scoop in The Guardian today, 8 pages worth, and another scoop in The Guardian, which we'll discuss later. But basically, this deals with the growth of the Duchy of Lancaster and the Duchy of Cornwall. So these two huge real estates, if you like, you can call them that. They have shops, they have businesses, they have private homes on them as well. And basically, when the Queen died, originally the Queen had them, and it actually goes back to when she had them as well last year. Of course, that has been passed on to now King William III, and he has passed on the Duchy of Cornwall to his son, the Prince of Wales. And so this deals with the growth and the profit that they have made from these two private estates. Now, these two private estates are controversial because for a long time, MPs, particularly in those areas, have said that that money should go to the Treasury, and therefore, so the profits that are made from these two big land estates should go to the Treasury and therefore be filtered down to the people. But as it is at the moment, this money goes to the royal family. Now, the royal family say that they use it for work that they do, for visits and tours and charitable work when they, turn up in York or turn up at a charity to draw attention to it. That's where that money comes from. That's how they pay for it. They say that it's private, but the profits are so huge. The amount of money that's been made, like we said, we're talking about £1 billion. A lot of people, and quite rightly so, would be thinking, well, hang on, if you have these two private estates or these two huge estates where there has been some controversy, or whether you should be the sole family collecting the money from this estate in this cost of living crisis, perhaps it might be pertinent for the royal family to feed some of that money back to the Treasury, especially if there is some debate over ownership of the land from which the money is generated from in the first place.
Yes, and also the sheer scale of the money. I don't think anybody realised £1.2 billion. I don't think anyone had the faintest idea. And I think there was some kind of interest in keeping it stum, so that ordinary people just wouldn't have the faintest idea about this. And quite frankly, we didn't know really until the Guardian did all this digging around. Also, there's the issue of whether they pay tax on it, which in general they don't. So there's all of that as well. So this is a big one. We'll see what the ramifications of this are. Also today, there's been much talked about the royal family and its possible links to slavery, and a great big sort of research study that's going to be undertaken into this.
Yes, so there's some research going on that's being conducted actually until 2026. And this is for a book that's called The Queen's Silence, which is about the links between the royal family and profits from slavery. So during the course of this research, there's been a document found that basically shows Edward Colston, who was the notorious slaver who enslaved hundreds, if not thousands, of people, whose statue was torn down in Bristol in 2020, that he sold £1,000 of worth of shares into his company that dealt with the enslavement of people, and he sold that to a king, I think it's King William III, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And that shows basically that the royal family profited and had shares and made money from slavery. So you have this document in black and white. Now, there has long been discussion about the royal family and their links with enslaving people and their links with people who traded in slaves. And this particular document, like I said, gives us in black and white proof that the royal family dealt with companies that dealt with slaves. Made profit.
Afua, we've just got the tip of the iceberg of all the royal stories today. We'll have to get you on again very, very soon to do the rest of them. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Easter weekend.